What's up, Terrier Nation? Sports Information Director Jared Plate here for the Hiram College Network, and it is my pleasure to officially announce Mark Hardaway as the new Hiram College women's volleyball coach. Coach Hardaway, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it, and welcome aboard.
Happy to be here. Happy that Ellen had enough faith in me to give me the offer to take over the program.
Very good. So let's jump in a little bit, talk a little bit about yourself, your background, and what brought you to Hiram College.
Well, I've been coaching a long time. So I've probably been coaching college volleyball for, hate to say it 'cause it makes me sound old, but about 30 years. A lot at the Division I level. I started out at the Division III level at Defiance College a long time ago. But mostly the Division I level as an assistant and head coach over the last 20-25 years.
So you're kind of a native of Ohio. You've been around the Ohio Valley area or in Ohio as well with Bowling Green and Youngstown State. Defiance, like you said, is your start. So, and you live in Warren, I believe?
You live outside of Warren, Howland, Ohio.
So what do you like about this area of Ohio?
Well, I really didn't think I'd spend this much time in Ohio when I got into coaching, but somehow I did. I grew up in Cincinnati. My first job was at Defiance, and I moved over to Bowling Green. Then I left for a while, and then I came back to Bowling Green, and then to Youngstown. So I've spent a lot of time in Ohio. Ohio's a great volleyball area. A lot of great club programs. It's one of the heaviest recruited states in the country because there is so much good volleyball. So being able to take a job at Hiram, which is so close to where I live, I don't have to move. It's about a 25-minute drive in, and I'm still very familiar with the local volleyball scene, which I think will help me here at Hiram. Because I do think we're going to have to pull a lot from local areas as well as try to reach outside the area a little bit.
So 6 seasons at Youngstown State University. I'm sure with Hiram being 45 minutes down the road, you've heard of Hiram College, but you didn't get a chance to visit it a whole lot. So what have you learned about Hiram since you've gotten on campus, and what do you enjoy about it so far?
Well, I've actually been here a couple times for soccer stuff. My son played soccer in high school, and he came out here for some soccer camps. So I knew where it was. I knew Alini, the coach that's here. I don't know if people think it's odd that Alini and I just flip jobs, but basically we flip jobs. But one of the things I like about Hiram, it is a small college, a small atmosphere, very family-oriented atmosphere where people know each other. People will go out of their way to help each other, and that's something that I really enjoy. I was a student athlete at University of Evansville for about 3 years, and it was a very small college. Same thing. I like being able to walk across campus and know the people I'm passing, and they know me, and you just get to know people better.
Absolutely. So talk to the fans a little bit about a Mark Hardaway run volleyball program. What's your philosophy? What can fans expect when your team steps on the floor?
Well, I think like probably every coach in the country, everybody wants a team that works hard, and that's really all you can ask of student athletes, young student athletes. You just want them to come, give 100%, be open to learning new things, and I know that we'll do some things different. We'll try not to change everything because the things that work you really don't want to mess with. You want to keep doing them, and then some things will alter to fit my style. So hopefully when they come watch, they'll see a group of young women that will work extremely hard, that'll represent the university well, the athletic department well, and the conference well.
One of the bases that's already been said here at Hiram College is that our women's volleyball team is very good academically as well. Mm-hmm. Coming from a D1 program, a lot of people might not know this because people have this stigma about the Division I level, but you are also a very education-centered coach. Mm-hmm. Youngstown State won 3 or 4 scholar team awards in your time there at Youngstown State. So talk about your academic philosophy as well.
The fortunate thing about volleyball is there are a lot of good students in the student athlete group. I think most volleyball players realize that life after college, you're going to have to get a job. And so most of them are fairly driven in the classroom. You have some that aren't, but for the most part, you get a lot of kids that are driven. When I got to Youngstown, it was a group that really wasn't driven in the classroom, and they weren't very disciplined about their studies. And that was something we set out right away, that, hey, we want to get back to winning, but you also have to take care of the classroom stuff, because when you leave here, most of you aren't going to play professional volleyball. If you are, it's an age-restricted profession. You're not going to do it forever. And we were fortunate enough that the kids all bought in. We had a great academic support, and most universities do. It's hard these days to not do well in college. Every college, I mean, there's tutors. I know even here on campus, there's tutors. There's area you can go for help with math, with English. And we were fortunate enough that the team bought in, and We got the first ever ABC Team Academic Award in Youngstown State history, and they had 4 in a row. So hopefully that's a tradition that'll continue there and one we can pick up here. And I have no doubts, because I think most kids that come to a small private school like Hiram, academics is a big part of their focus. That's one of the reasons they come to a smaller school that's a little more academic oriented, and even Division III. So their focus can be just as much academics as athletics. So I'm looking forward to that part.
So I have to ask, you know, stepping into the Division III model for the first time in a couple of decades, what has surprised you the most about joining a Division III institution?
Well, I don't know if there were a lot of surprises. I do know that there's going to be some adjustments for me. I'm used to having a lot more time in the gym with the team. And at the Division III level, it's restricted. You just don't get as much time, especially in the spring. The Division I level, that's where we made a lot of adjustments and changes. And so for me, I'm going to have to be a lot more efficient with my time in the gym because I just don't have as much of it. And you're going to have to rely a little more on the team to do some things on their own. And that's why I think it's important to get them to buy into what you're trying to build, both athletically and academically, because I think more of the responsibility is going to fall on their shoulders. And you just have to, like I say, get them to buy in and understand that if they want to do the things that they've all said, and I've met with all of them individually, and they've set some pretty high goals. And for them to meet those goals, they're going to have to help shoulder some of the responsibility. So I think there'll be more accountability for the players at the Division III level because of our limitations.
So let's move on. Let's talk about this team that you've got, that you've inherited essentially. You know, you guys have started your non-traditional season now, so you finally gotten a chance to see them on the court. You know, volleyball typically has been a program of winning here at Hiram College with 8 straight 20-win seasons, and winning a first-round playoff game last year with 10 freshmen and only 2 seniors on the roster. So what have you seen on paper, and what did you see out of that first practice, and what do you think you can kind of mold out of what you have here?
Well, on paper, the biggest thing I noticed when I was looking at this job, because I researched a little bit, was they do have a really good tradition. Ellen Dempsey was at the helm for 11 years, and it was probably the most 11 successful years in the school's history. And then the last 6 years, they've continued to be successful here. It's the first time as a head coach I've ever gone to a program that was already winning. All my other stops were programs that weren't winning when I got there as a head coach. I know they graduated 2 kids that on paper accounted for a lot of stats. And I also know that they had 7 freshmen that played a lot. So one hand, you're kind of disappointed you lost 2 solid seniors, but the other hand, you have 7 young people that made a huge contribution. 2 all-conference picks, Lindsay Walker and Kiara Franks, both all-conference. So I think from paper, there's more positives than negatives. I think it's a bright future. We just have to make sure we fill in with what we lost. In the gym, we started our non-traditional season a little earlier than probably they expected, and part of that was because I needed to get in the gym and see where they were volleyball-wise and see how they do things. And I was really excited about a couple things. One, they seem like they will work their tails off, which I really like. They seem very open to trying new stuff, because I know we've already changed a little bit. And they seem really excited to get going. So I do know that we have to get in a little better shape, but I think that's probably to be expected when you go 2-3 months without a coach. But overall, a lot more positives than negatives. And like the big thing for me is they really seem eager to get in the gym and get going.
Very good. I think that's all the time I'm going to have for you. So thank you so much, Mark, for joining me.
Thank you.
That was new head women's volleyball coach Mark Hardaway. And Coach, you actually started some new social media for the Hiram women's volleyball team. Why don't you tell the fans where you can find that?
Hiram College WVB. Sorry about that. And we're going to have a Snapchat, we're going to have a Instagram, we're going to have a Facebook, and we'll have a Twitter. And I know the Twitter account's already there, but we will start posting stuff pretty soon as we get going, and that'll probably fall on me. So, but would love everyone to follow if they have a chance.
Absolutely. Again, you can follow the Hiram women's volleyball team at Hiram College WVB on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. It'll be on Facebook as well. And you can also catch everything about the Terriers on HiramTerriers.com. This was new head women's volleyball coach Mark Hardaway, Sports Information Director Jared Plate. Until next time, go Terriers.